Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me here today for the last episode of 2023. That's right, it is New Year's weekend, New Year's Eve being tomorrow, Sunday, and then 2024 come Monday, start of the work week, and we're here. I took last week off because I was in New York City, a little pre-Christmas trip, which I'll talk about that in little bits. Give a few plugs, Anyways, thank you for joining me here today to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. You can find me on a variety of different social media networks, so including the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Counter Social, all at Colt S. Taylor. On Cameo, if you need like a little Cameo, New Year's Eve Cameo video for someone. And of course, if you're listening to this, then you're listening to anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. But before we get into the news, I have something to plug right now. Another podcast. I don't usually plug other podcasts, but I appear on this one, so obviously it makes sense that I do. My good friend Noah from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love, has a new weekly podcast coming out. First episode, I believe, is already out. It's called Talkin' 2024. He has 53 guests lined up for 53 episodes of this podcast. Each podcast released Thursdays every week and whatnot. And here's the thing. He recorded all 53 episodes over the course of 2 or 3 days over Thanksgiving. So it's all recorded. It's all ready to go. But he's releasing one episode every week on Thursdays throughout 2024. On Instagram, he calls it a weekly forecast that's timely and untimely, recorded in a single weekend. It's him, 5 co-hosts, 53 guests. I think I appear in March at some point, and it was a delight. Nice little 40, 50-minute podcast. We talked D&D, elections, my own podcast, obviously, and it was a really nice time. Very nice up, very, very high, very high quality equipment they got going there. So nothing like my little shoestring operation I have here on my end, but it was a great time. Looking forward to the podcast. If you want to listen to it and subscribe to it, you should. So go to talkin2024.podbean.com. I'll post the link in the post as usual for weekly updates from Talkin 2024. And you should definitely follow them on Instagram, instagram.com/Talkin2024. It is some good stuff. Listen to it. It's great. And some of the podcasts recorded in person. Some were done over Zoom. So we have some people far away. I believe someone on the West Coast joined in. So who knows? It was kept very much a secret for me. So I don't even know who else is on this 53 show excursion and whatnot. But anyways, check it out. Talkin2024.podbean.com. Links and everything's in the post below. I think you'll enjoy it, and I hope to make a return next year in Talkin 2025. I should be there every year. I should be. Next up, as I mentioned previously in the opening, I was not here last week. I was in New York City for 2 days, and just want to give a few shout-outs. First and foremost, Namik and Cindy at the Marriott Vacation Club Pulse, where I stayed. Two lovely concierge people who were able to find me some good restaurants, took care of me whenever I had a question. They took care of it. They got all my voucher stuff all sorted out as well. They're 2 fantastic people working there at the Marriott Vacation Club Pulse on 37th Street. I want to say 37th. Well, 37th Street. I don't know. 37th, 38th, around there. Whatnot. I don't have time to look it up. But anyways, they're great. And if you go there and you stay at the Marriott Vacation Club Pulse, be sure to say hello to both of them and tell them that me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, says hello. Because you won't get anything specifically that's different from them. But it'll be funny if that does get back to me a wee bit later. That everyone says Colt Sebastian Taylor sent me, and they say hello. But anyways, delightful hotel. I had a great time there. Very nice. Had a wonderful meal. I was there. It was like, holy moly, maybe the best meal I've ever had. It was at a Michelin star restaurante. Yes, restaurante. Very nice. It was called Alfiore. Alfiore. It had like Italian and French Riviera food. It was pretty incredible. Loved it. And I had a 7-course tasting menu. Holy moly. It was amazing. It was very, very good. I had like caviar, which I never had before, but you don't turn down fancy caviar. It was like this braised beef ravioli that was amazing. Filet that was delicious. Fish that was amazing as well. The desserts were great. Also, it was very, very good stuff. And just a walk around from the corner. From the hotel, so could get there in like 5 minutes. Delightful. And then the other thing I did while I was there, I saw a show called Titanic. It's basically the true, quote unquote, true story of Jack and Rose on the Titanic, as told by Celine Dion, and because she was there. It was a hilarious show. I highly recommend it if you can find and watch Titanic. Amazing. The only negative part is apparently I'm a loud laugher, so some miserable old bat turned around and yelled at me not to laugh as loud. She also did not clap or laugh at anyone else, so I think she's just a miserable, empty, soulless person who got some joy yelling at a redhead who was clearly not impressed with them. But also, shout out to the Titanic usher who saw this and came over and I think tried to move them, although they refused to move, and then stood next to them the entire play, laughing loudly with me. So I will shout out to that guy, whoever that guy is. You're amazing, usher. And then finally, the last thing I did, it was delightful, is on top of the Marriott Vacation Club Pulse, they have a rooftop bar that has a beautiful shot of the Empire State Building. I don't think I posted any pictures yet. Well, I'll post pictures later. And I had like a delightful time for a few hours up there eating chips, looking at the Empire State Building, having like a $30 cocktail. Whoo boy, New York prices. Crazy. But I highly recommend the experience. So check out the Marriott Vacation Club Pulse. Say hello to my pal Namek and Cindy. Eat at Al Fieri restaurant. Check out Titanic. And if you get yourself up on the rooftop bar, top of the Strand, have a $30 cocktail and view the incredible Empire State Building in the heart of Midtown. So that's where I was last week. Had to give out my shout-outs to all of my new friends in New York City. Moving along, this week, a famous comedy legend passed away. Tom Smothers, of the Smothers Brothers fame, passed away at the age of 86 years old, as a statement released by his family. Dick Smothers, his brother, said in an announcement, Tom was not only a loving older brother that everyone would want in their life, he was a one-of-a-kind creative partner. I am forever grateful to have spent a lifetime together with him on stage and off stage for over 60 years. And it continued saying, our relationship was like a good marriage. The longer we were together, the more we loved and respected one another. We were truly blessed. Now, you may not know the Smothers Brothers, an older generation does, but they were comedy legends. They were a musical duo. They sang folk songs and had acoustic guitar and bantered back and forth. The elder Tom was known for his signature line, Mom always liked you best. They're siblings. They had a lot of sibling humor. Now, they're best known for chafing with censors during the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. It ran for 3 seasons, but became controversial for its political critiques and sympathy with counterculture amongst during the Vietnam War. The show was abruptly canceled in 1969, which was widely seen as politically motivated by the network under pressure from President Richard Nixon, who did not like them. They were canceled because this network said they failed to provide an episode in time for airing to go by standards and practices. They sued them, won in court, but not as much money as they would have liked. But despite that, the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour was never on air again after that. However, them standing up to censors and censorship and being one with counterculture earned them a lot of respect amongst a variety of comedians and people of the time. In fact, several folks got started with them. One of them noted Rob Reiner. The great Rob Reiner said in a statement on Twitter, quote, "In 1968, Tommy Smothers plucked me out of an improv group, The Committee, and gave me my first writing job for his show. Tommy was funny, smart, and a fighter. He created a groundbreaking show that celebrated all that was good in American democracy. We love you best, Tommy." According to Goodson, who released a statement, Journey Goodson, the executive director of the National Comedy Center in Jamestown, New York, saluted Tommy Smothers as an extraordinary comedic talent. He said in a statement, Tom Smothers was not only an extraordinary comic talent, who together with his brother Dick became the most enduring comedy duo in history, entertaining the world for 6 decades, but was a true champion for the freedom of speech, harnessing the comedy to push boundaries and our political consciousness. Tom was a true pioneer who changed the face of television and transformed our culture with the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, which satirized politics, combat racism, protested the Vietnam War, and led the way for Saturday Night Live, The Daily Show, and today's network late night shows, and so much more. We are proud to bring Tom and Dick out of retirement and reunite them on stage in 2019 to celebrate their legendary careers, and we are honored to preserve Tom's remarkable work and legacy here at the National Comedy Center for generations to come. Other stars that got started on the show, were influenced by the show, and have a connection to them include Steve Martin, Lorne Michaels of Saturday Night Live, and David Steinberg as well. And Tom Smothers also accompanied John Lennon and Yoko Ono on guitar in June 1969 for the recording of their anti-war anthem, Give Peace a Chance, during Lennon and Ono's second Bed In for Peace PR stunt to protest the Vietnam War. After the brothers battled CBS and their censorship, they were, like I said, they were embraced by other heroes and free speech activists for it. Quotes from, according to a recent University of California Santa Barbara article that talked about the series and its impact, quote, "The Smothers and their team of writers tested censorship boundaries by showcasing controversial political content, the majority of which was focused on contemporary anti-war themes, as well as racial justice, drugs, and other risque humor. The Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour highlights social consciousness and thought-provoking concepts which introduced via comedic mediums, while bridging the generation gap by featuring both established artists and new talent. During the show's third season in 1968 and 1969, the Smothers increasingly chafed against network censorship brought on by political pressure. The show was ultimately canceled in 1969 by network CEO and President William Paley, with the reason given the brothers failed to meet pre-air episode delivery dates. In response, Tom and Dick filed a successful lawsuit against CBS, proving they met all the contractual requirements and were unjustly canceled. Unfortunately, the original Smothers Brothers never returned to the air. Tom and Dick Smothers were inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame in 2010. Tom Smothers was awarded an Emmy in 2008 for his writing contributions to the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour. He removed his name in 1969 out of fear of stirring controversy, and Steve Martin was the one who presented him the commemorative award. The Tommy Smothers is survived by Marcy Carrick Smothers and his children Bo and Riley Rose Smothers, grandson Phoenix, sister-in-law Marie Smothers, and several nephews and nieces. Also, something that you may not know about Tom Smothers, he was an accomplished yo-yo man. Yes, he could do yo-yo tricks like no one else. I mean, there's obviously better, but he routinely did yo-yo tricks during his song. During their shows. He had a character called the Yo-Yo Man, who didn't say anything, but they would use yo-yo tricks to talk politics and whatnot. His brother Dick Smothers would play the guitar, while Tom Smothers would do yo-yo tricks. The Yo-Yo Man. So if you have a chance this New Year's Eve weekend, check out some old Smother Brothers Comedy Hour episodes from the late 60s. Check out some Yo-Yo Man tricks and whatnot. But Tommy Smothers, legendary comedic contributor, legendary musician, comedian, fighter of free speech and against censorship, passed away this week at the age of 86. Comedy legend, influencing many people you see on the television today. Moving on into other entertainment news, also sad news. Actor Lee Sun-kyun was found dead this week amid a drug probe, best known for his work in the movie Parasite, also on the Apple TV series Dr. Brain, one of the first Korean language series Apple TV has produced. As an original series, it was a 6-episode sci-fi thriller where he played a cold, calculating neurologist who's trying to garner clues via brain experiments to solve a family mystery. But he was found dead this week in apparent suicide amid varieties of a drug probe. And now there's starting to be some pushback on government and media attention on this. Apparently, South Korea has been cracking down on drug use and has been sweeping up a variety of people, has led to some allegations against high-profile people, including actors, singers, socialites, and heirs of the country's richest families. K-pop singer G-Dragon was amongst those to be swept up in the crackdown, although he was cleared of any wrongdoings last week. The news organization Yonhap reported that Lee had been questioned 3 times by police, including for 19 hours over the weekend, over his alleged use of marijuana and psychoactive drugs. Lee is reported to visit Seoul's Gangnam district on multiple occasions since early this year, including last Saturday, where he allegedly took drugs. The actor reportedly said he was tricked into taking drugs by a bar hostess who then tried to blackmail him. The South Korean drug laws are notoriously tough. Crimes are typically punished at least 6 months in prison or up to 14 years for repeat offenders and drug dealers. And apparently the government is really cracking down hard on this, and he got swept up into it, and it seems like the pressure from this caused some mental health breakdowns, leading to his death, unfortunately. So there's a lot of commentary going on in South Korea, prompting criticisms of not only the media, but also the police with their heavy-handedness of it. They did find a note that, quote, read like a will, and they might pull up on that, because he was a very popular actor. When the drug allegations came out, he was dropped from film and commercial projects, incurring damages of about $10 million cost him. So this will be studied for a bit, but it's a very sad story. It's a very sad story that, he was never accused of anything. He was never charged of everything, but the media and other folks really came down hard on him, and this is ultimately what had happened. whatnot. So, anyways, check out Parasite. It was a great movie, but unfortunately, the actor who won an award for it actually too as well, Mr. Lee Sung-kyun, was apparently found dead this week at the very young age. I believe only 48, due to an apparent suicide. In other celebrity news, Pierce Brosnan, don't worry, he's fine. Pierce Brosnan was cited for walking in a restricted geothermal area at Yellowstone Park. Yellowstone Park, besides being beautiful, is well known for its geothermal features, old faithful geysers, things like that. They're also amazingly dangerous, and so the park has like areas where you can walk and areas where you can't walk. And Pierce Brosnan, Mr. James Bond, apparently was cited for, quote, foot travel in a thermal area in the Wyoming park, according to a court citation. According to the National Park's Yellowstone Safety website, visitors to the park must always, quote, walk on boardwalks and designated trails. Thermal formations can be very dangerous, with hot water being able to cause severe or fatal burns, and the scalding water underlying mostly of thin, breakable crust around the hot spring. So you could fall through the ground into hot water and scald yourself to death. So, not great. Apparently this took place on November 1st, with Park citing the 36 CFR 7.13J of the Yellowstone National Park Code for Regulations. The subsection titled Travel of Trails states that foot travel in all thermal areas within Yellowstone Canyon between the Upper Falls and Inspiration Point must be confined to the boardwalks or trails and are maintained for such travel and marked by official signs. Representatives for Pierce Brosnan did not respond to any comments due to it being over the holidays, and they're busy. But he will have to go back to Wyoming at a U.S. District Court for a mandatory court date on January 23rd. He's been filming the movie Unholy Trinity with Samuel L. Jackson and David Arquette in nearby Montana. So that's why he was in the area. But he will have to come back to District Court on the 23rd and probably get a decent fine for it. Fun fact, since 1890, more than 20 people have been killed due to the thermal features at Yellowstone National Park. Earlier this year, a Michigan man sustained thermal burns after wandering off a restricted area in Yellowstone while under the influence. He was drunk. The man faces federal criminal charges for the incident and has pleaded not guilty. In a statement by the U.S. Attorney's Office of Wyoming, the man was deemed a danger to himself or others. Obviously, if he's wandering drunk in Yellowstone Park, he falls into a geyser, a bit of a danger to himself. But anyways, Pierce Brosnan, Mr. James Bond, can't read signs apparently, and wandered off a trail in the thermal area, got cited by a park ranger, and has a mandatory court date on January 23rd of next year. Not quite how he wants to start the new year, I bet. But I'm very curious about the Samuel Jackson, David Arquette movie. Might be direct-to-video. It might be direct-to-video. Next, my friends, we'll go to Europe, where Romania and Bulgaria are partly joining the Schengen area. Now, what's the Schengen area? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, Europe is a continent, and there are countries there. But there's more of that. There's also the European Union. Yeah, the European Union is a collection of countries working together, and the Schengen area is an area where there are basically no border controls. So if you go into Portugal, you could go to Portugal, Spain, France, Germany, and Poland, cross international borders and not be checked at the borders. You'll check when you come into Portugal, but not when, you leave Portugal. And Romania and Bulgaria have been part of the EU since 2002, I think, but they have not been part of the Schengen area due to pressures from various countries, specifically Austrians, concerned about illegal immigration coming into Austria through the Romanian border. Austria and then Hungary. They're a little tough on immigration one now. They're very right wing when it comes to immigration in those two specific countries. So while land borders are not open right now, by March it's going to be a border free zone by air and sea. So if you cross from Romania into Hungary over the land border, you'll be stopped at a checkpoint for customs and whatnot. But if you fly into Romania and then fly to France, it will be different. It'll be basically a domestic flight. You won't have to go through any sort of checks. Starting in roughly March, also applies to the sea. Now they're still working on land border stuff. No timeline when that will be open per se, but this is a first step forward. They joined in 2007. Those two countries, and they're trying to get this full border area for the last 10 years. Romania Interior Minister released this information on December 23rd, saying, quote, "After 13 years, finally Romania will join Schengen. We have a political agreement on this." And the Bulgarian Prime Minister also confirmed the deal at a year-end governmental meeting. Austrian officials said only negotiations are continuing, but seems like they have softened their stance on air and sea and still trying to figure out land borders. With them joining, the only other two EU countries that are not inside this special area will be Ireland and Cyprus. Cyprus has its own list of issues as well. Fun fact, there are 3 non-European Union countries who are also part of this Schengen area. That includes Iceland, Norway, and Switzerland. So if you go into Italy and want to drive to Switzerland or fly or take a train, there's no border control in that respect in those areas. Or if you fly to Switzerland, go through customs, then you can go to any other country within the European Union in the Schengen area. Except Cyprus and Ireland, they do their own thing. They're not part of that. And the United Kingdom is not even in the European Union anymore. So, you would have to go through customs there as well. But anyways, good news for the folks in Romania and Bulgaria. At least when they're flying or taking a boat, they will be joining the Schengen area, reducing border controls starting in March. Well, my friends, it's the end of the year, as you may know, and a lot of end-of-year lists are put out there, and like every year since 2016, former President Barack Obama has put out his list of favorite movies and favorite books of 2023. So his favorite movies of 2023 his 3 favorite movies were produced by Higher Ground, which he's, kind of involved with. But his favorite movies of 2023 include Rustin, Leave the World Behind, American Symphony. His other favorite movies of 2023 are The Holdovers, Blackberry, Oppenheimer, American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Monster, Past Lives, Air, Polite Society, and 1001. I don't think I saw any of those this year. I guess we have different tastes. He also says he enjoys the color purple as well. His favorite books of 2023 include The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride, The Maniac by Benjamin Labatut, Poverty by America by Matthew Desmond, How to Save Babylon by Sophia Sinclair, The Wager by David Graham, Chip War by Chris Miller, The Vaster Wilds by Lauren Groff, Humanely Possible by Sarah Bakewell, King, A Life by Jonathan Eigg, The Coming of Water by Abraham Verghese, The Best Minds by Jonathan Rosen, All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory by Tim Alberta, Some People Need Killing by Patricia Evangelista, and The Other Eden by Paul Harding. So, also, didn't read any of those. I don't have time to read. He did say his favorite podcasts, which I assume would possibly include, well, maybe not. But anyways, those are his favorite books, favorite movies of 2023. Have you read any of them? Did you see any of those? I want to see Oppenheimer, but have not seen the other ones. Maybe I will in 2024. We'll find out. Moving along, as you may remember, last weekend was Christmas. Hope Santa brought you some stuff. And a popular trend, at least on the TikToks and the internets, is to have a relative dress up like the Grinch and burst into a house stealing presents, scaring children half to death, sometimes carrying children out, sometimes ripping down a tree and yanking it out the front door, with just causing everyone to panic and whatnot. It's really I appreciate the adults laughing, but you're traumatizing children as the Grinch shows up and does this. Well, this week in Portland, Maine, the Anderson family, inside their home at the World Barn on Newfields Road, were making dinner and heard a clatter on their front lawn. Quote, "We raced outside and saw a car way up on the top of our lawn, so we knew there was an accident. And the first thing they did is they went down to check to make sure that everyone was okay. However, inside the car, there was the Grinch was there. Someone in a full Grinch outfit, head-to-toe costume, was driving the car. Police say that the Grinch missed the curve and damaged a mailbox, lights, and a honey stand, and the sign for the World Barn. Quote, "I honestly did a double take. I honestly couldn't believe it. I was like, this can't be happening. This can't be happening right now." But it actually was not the actual Grinch. It was John Williamson, who was bringing, quote, he was bringing Christmas gifts to his niece and nephews. He said they had not been drinking, but he couldn't remember what had happened, so he's undergoing neurological tests. He said he just sort of blacked out, apparently. But this is the second December in a row where there had been a crash in their front yard. They say this one did about $10,000 in damage. Quote, "The Grinch definitely took a bite out of Christmas for us." However, that's why you have car insurance, homeowners insurance. It'll probably take them a little while to get that all fixed, but they're not like they're out $10,000. Insurance companies will pay for that. That's why you have insurance. But, yep, the Grinch crashed into this front person's yard, and, that's what happened. So, once again, the Grinch, watch out, Grinch, if you're driving, maybe not drive wearing a full outfit, drive without it, and then, you can put the mask on when you get there. Just say it. Those masks, not great to breathe in, and you might get a little lightheaded and crash into the World Barn's sign in the front yard. I don't know what the World Barn is, but hopefully they'll get a new temporary sign up very, very, very soon. We now go to Rochester, New York, near in the Minnewaska State Park, where apparently a hiker from Singapore reportedly fell to her death while taking a selfie with her husband last week on December 22nd. According to state troopers, Nur Ashia bint Akbar was hiking with her husband, Abdul Raf bin Mod said. Last week, the couple stopped along Beacon Hill Trail to take photos at the edge of the cliff, and accordingly to the husband, she reportedly lost her footing and fell nearly 70 feet off of a cliff. Her husband then called 911. A state police helicopter was then called to transport her to safety. She was taken to Ellenville Regional Hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. The incident remains under investigation. The body will be returned to Singapore this week, according to the news reports. In a series of Facebook posts, the husband expressed grief for his late wife. Quote, "My heart is broken into pieces, and I don't know how to piece them back together. I have been crying nonstop for the past 12 hours, and it's really distraught. I'm really distraught by myself now. I am beyond broken right now. I'm distraught. But amid my grieving, I have to understand that my wife didn't only have me in her life," and he wrote into another post saying she was loved by many. So the police will investigate this. I mean, I'm sure it was just an accident, but there has also been plenty of past crimes where they said it was an accident, but then it wasn't an accident. So I think the police will be investigating this very, very carefully. Sure, just an accident, but it does happen. People do fall off the cliffs taking selfies, but I'll keep an eye on this story. See if anything else develops. Moving along, Lance Bass of NSYNC teases a potential NSYNC reunion, saying, quote, I hope to have some good news at some point, according to a recent appearance. Recent appearance on a talking and whatnot. The musician spoke about the possibility of another reunion for the 90s boy band while playing a game for charity with Built Rewards founder and CEO Adnark Jain. He said, quote, we're talking about it and I hope to have some good news at some point. He inquired further, like on January 1st on rent day, and then Lance Bass says, give us a little bit more time than that. As you may remember from a previous episode, NSYNC gathered together for a brief appearance at the 2023 MTV MVAs, where they shared their first new song in 20 years for the newest Trolls Band Together movie, where Justin Timberlake stars. They recorded the song Better Place for the soundtrack. Lance Bass said, quote, Trolls was amazing. It was nice to get back in the studio with those guys. It was a lot of fun. Although the reunion could still happen, possibility of a tour is unclear. There are reports that Justin Timberlake has secured arenas for a major North American tour in 2024, which would leave him unavailable for an NSYNC reunion tour. So, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but there'll be certainly a lot of, I guess, mothers, middle-aged mothers that would love to see NSYNC back on stage again. It's in the mix, but no firm go-ahead or dates yet. But it's something that Lance Bass was teasing at on a recent playing a game with some guy. I don't know what was broadcasted, but he did say that. Finally this week, Dolly Parton, a national treasure. In the news again for giving a cancer patient a once-in-a-lifetime private show. This cancer patient had been a fan of Dolly Parton for decades, and her music and persona has served as an inspiration, especially after his cancer diagnosis. And over Christmas, he got a call from Dolly Parton herself. Woke up from a cancer treatment to get a call from Dolly Parton. The cancer patient's wife gave some insights into the power of Dolly's music and character she's had on her life. She even called out the impact of Dolly Parton's imagination library on their family when they had young kids. Dolly said, quote, I'm just happy that we get to have our journey together in this lifetime. I'm happy to know I've touched your life in some way, so thank you for honoring me with that. And this was like a video message and whatnot. And then after telling LG that she'll always love him, she sang a lick of Whitney Houston's tune before hanging up. It was pretty incredible. But this cancer patient woke up from treatment and got a message from the great Dolly Parton, who also recently was singing during a Dallas Cowboys game in a Dallas Cowboys uniform. And so Dolly Parton, a truly wonderful lady, helping wherever she goes, national treasure. But that was a nice. Want to end this week's episode. A little nice note. So enjoy that one. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up this week's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Remember, you can find me on a variety of social media channels: the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, at Colt S. Taylor. Be sure to check out my Wednesday night online D&D game, the Longshots D&D, on Twitch. And of course, my friends, if you need more podcasting goodness, check out Talkin' 2024, a 53-episode podcast series, all recorded over a single weekend. 53 guests, 1 host, 5 co-hosts, the host being my friend Noah. Check out talkin2024.podbean.com. I'll put all the links in the post below. But check that out as well. Well, my friends, until next year, I'm of course your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.